Welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you today. My name is Tuesday May Thomas. We're going to be reading for our February 8th till March 8th of 2017. I use the Osho Zen Tarot, and as we did last month, I will be adding in, at the very end, I will pull one of the lenses cards from the Mayan Oracle deck, which I will read from the book for that little topper-upper. Just a little introduction. I am so grateful for all of your subscriptions and for all of your sharings and likings. Later this year, I will be launching my book, The Reiki Apprentice, and I'm so very excited about that. In sync with that, I will also be starting a live YouTube show where I will be discussing themes within the book, contained within the book, that embody multidimensional healing and metaphysical energy tools and how we can implement them into our lives. And as I further set up my platform, I will be offering free ebook giveaways and all sorts of goodies. So please do subscribe and stay tuned. I'm so grateful to have your audience to share this time and space with you. So it's very interesting. If you watch regularly, we've been working on some themes and some grids, some energies that have just continue to come back and back around, some spiraling back around. And so some of the old visitors are here in the reading as I look to it. But our theme for this month is letting go. Letting go. And if you look closely at this card, there is a drop of water at the very edge, at the very tip of that leaf, and it's just about to fall off. And in fact, if you look down into the water, you can see that a drop has already fallen and there's a ripple happening, right? These circles, these ripples expanding out. Letting go is the theme for our month. And as we consider that, we can think about people, places, and things, groups that we belong to, and even dreams that we've had for ourselves, even for a very, very, very long time, and how they may or may not be in alignment with the next part of the path that we're being invited to initiate ourselves into. And I just heard a whoop, a cop car whoop siren. So, and I always take those things as synchronous whenever I'm reading or speaking or doing anything. And so letting go asks us to reach deep within to those true parts of ourselves that we know are outworn. Relationships, friendships, what's going on in your friendship sector where you know there's a friendship or friendships or circles of friends that that do not serve where you see the bright, beautiful vision of yourself moving towards birthing and becoming in this next year. Where are you spinning your wheels? Where are you wasting time? Where are you overextending your time? As the vision of ourself becomes clearer and clearer, what happens is we begin to see those parts of our world and our life where we place our energy and attention that are no longer in alignment with that truth. And so that's what's going to be coming up for us. Letting go speaks to shedding skins. It speaks to addiction, to letting go of those things that you know are holding you back, where you are spending hours and hours and hours of your time spinning your wheels. Again, wasting time. And on another level, I know time doesn't really exist, yet here in the third dimension on the earth plane, it's all about time and it's all about space. It's all about our thoughts and our words. And so where we are expending that, our thoughts and our words are a currency, and the way that we spend them by the thoughts that we keep and the words that we speak help to co-create the law that by the word that we speak, those essences manifest and come back to us. And so as we begin to see who we are becoming, because as you know, if you're watching these last several months, we've been uncovering this new vision of self, who we know we really are, and allowing ourselves the courage to become and to birth into that authentic self. And it's so exciting. It's actually can be very terrifying to allow yourself to let go into that new vision of self. But that's what we're being asked to do. And I'm just going to let you know that what came up next to letting go, this has been an ongoing theme as well. Laziness, 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 which speaks to those parts of ourselves where we know better. We know we can put down the addiction. The addiction we can put down, we can get off of Facebook. You know, social media can become an addiction. Maybe we're spinning our wheels and spending too much time just getting sucked into the dramas of the world. And there's a lot of drama in the world right now that you can totally plug into and identify with. Letting go is asking us to peel back the layers that no longer serve you, moving forward into the truth that you know you are. And moving forward really is all about being here now. So what can you let go of that can allow you to further be here now in your greatest light, in your greatest joy, in your greatest health, in your greatest love, in your greatest beauty, and in your greatest brilliance and light? Because you have a piece of the puzzle. You are a piece of the puzzle to the peace on earth, to the heaven on earth, to the beautiful blessings of your light shining in your life, of your joy and your happiness. And also, you are intimately connected to the joy and happiness of others. And not that you really have, it's not that you are responsible for others' happiness, but you're responsible for your own happiness. Where can you take more responsibility for your own happiness? Are you caught in a loop of just pointing the finger and looking outside and pointing out everything else that's wrong in the world, versus looking within yourself and seeing what's going right in your world? And in your world, I mean in your mind, in the patterns of how you spend your time, in the words that you speak out into the world, and in the friends and associates, the relationships you're in. Letting go. So often with letting go, there is an emotional aspect that comes with this. We can cry. We can write our energy letters, which is a wonderful way of letting things, people, and places go. And by the way, if you are a regular watcher, I will put a link, no, over here. I will put a link over here for the energy letter video that you can watch after this. It is so powerful to really take time, let alone to just journal or to meditate, to be clear with the truth in your heart, and also to rid yourself of the turbulence of this third dimension, of the world of this third dimension, that you may connect with something much greater than yourself. And in that way, bring that into your thought, into your word. Speak it, manifest it via law of vibration, so that that which you do truly desire and really desire can come to fruition and come to pass, not only for your highest good, but for the highest good of all. And often, right, really, not even often, just the truth is that everything you need is within you. You can be a light unto yourself. All the answers you seek, all the peace in the world that you seek is already within you. But the key is to exploring that terrain, to finding and creating the correct circumstances within ourselves so that we can learn what that even feels like, what that even looks like to us, so that we can learn to relax and embody that truth. And this is challenging for some of us because we have been trained and we've learned to live in fear, to be afraid. And I know in the news and in the media, there's a lot to be afraid of. There's a lot that you can place your bets on to begin to build the argument of that there's a lot to fear. And that's okay. Wherever you wish to place your energy is where you will place your energy. My guidance is to share with you, though, to be mindful of where you place your time and attention, because that is, in fact, where you're going to receive it back. And if all you're doing is spending, say, 90% of your time in a fearful zone of believing the media, of plugging into that, and then kind of gurgitating that out to the world, to your friends and your family, it's creating the perpetuation of that. And you kind of get stuck in that cycle of thinking that that's the truth and that's all that there is. But the truth is that there is a whole universe of expanded consciousness and knowledge and wisdom that is innate and that is within you. And all you have to do is learn how to relax, learn how to be still, learn how to breathe. And a part of that is clearing the decks. So back to the truth of you is already here. It's not something to go and get. In fact, it is something to learn how to be still, and in that stillness, the release, the letting go of those parts of self that are not in resonance with your truth begin to become illumined. So it is with greater ease that you're just like, oh, you begin to realize what's really serving you and what's not serving you. And in that realization, it is with greater ease that you can release and let go. So back to the energy letter, in the energy letter, we write a letter from our higher self to the other person, places, or things higher self. And there's a whole video on it which you can watch. But what I want to say is that I've already heard back from several people who've written an energy letter. One woman had a thing going on with a house that she was tied into with her ex-husband for almost a decade. She wrote an energy letter to the house, letting it go and blessing it and whatever other personal things she had to say. And within 3 days, she got a call from her ex telling her that something has shifted in the bank loan and he's going to take the house over and pay her off and whatever she wanted. Things worked out, not only for her, but for him and for the greatest good of all. And now she's getting a chunk of money and she's like, woohoo, and she's free. Besides just cashing in, right? I mean, that's a bonus. But, what is the money unless you truly are free on the inside? And the energy letter helped her to do that, right? Another woman, another student of mine, she had a client that would just, and not really a client, a family member who would just come around and expect her to work on him whenever he wanted. And she's learning. She's a level 2 and she's at the beginning. And so she's learning to cut her chops of how to create healthy boundaries. And this family member is being a really good teacher, an example for her to find her voice and to create healthy boundaries. So what she did is she wrote an energy letter to his higher self telling him how she feels about him just dropping by and that she would really appreciate more respect and just for him to be more aware and more kind towards the services and to just be more aware that there is an actual reciprocation, that she's actually bestowing and gifting to him something, her time, her energy, and these skills and these tools that she's taken time to learn and to study. So she wrote him an energy letter, and within, I think it wasn't even 24 hours, he sent her a text out of the blue saying, I'm really, really grateful. Thank you so much for all your help that you've been sharing with me. And the next time he came around, and I think he did still come around without telling her, that's another layer that she can work on. But he came around and his whole energy, his whole attitude towards her, everything was just way more cohesive, way more coherent, just greater harmony and respect. So that's just on the side. A beautiful tool, though, for learning to let go and to exercising and to practice letting go. Addiction. This last month, I gave up the morning coffee caffeine. I love coffee like crazy. Every morning I have to have my cup of joe. But for years I used to drink decaf coffee, and even though I drink it like mud, really thick, I used to drink decaf, and it would satiate that sensual, the smell and the richness, the flavor, the taste. It would satiate that. And somehow over the years, though, I got into drinking the caffeine. And what I'm realizing for me to do the work that I get to do here, to be this author, to find that stillness and that steadiness and to write and to channel this information into my books, it was not serving me anymore to have that sense of, and even though in the morning I would only drink a half and half, so I wasn't even on full caffeine, I was doing half caffeine, half decaf, but still the sensitivity of wherever I'm going in my life right now, of wherever I'm being led, was such that even that half calf made me feel that I was 3 steps forward outside of my body and that I wasn't fully grounded and connected and centered in my full power and authority of just being able to be love and light to the fullest capacity. That little bit of agitation, that little bit of caffeine just pushed me too much out of my full sense of power and of being relaxed so I can be cool, so I can be in tune with my truth, even that much more. And that's what this letting go is asking us. How much deeper are you willing and ready to let go of those aspects, those people, those places, those things, those habits, those patterns, those addictions, so that you can just polish those little windows, those little mirrors of self, so that more of you, the truth of you that's always there, can shine through. Again, the truth of you, you in your full power and authority, you living your truth in your dreams, it's actually already happening within you. And I know that's a mind boggler, but it's already happening. It's in you. The truth of you is like a ticker tape that's playing, and your ability to relax, to become centered. And it's interesting because later on, which we'll get into a little bit later, we do have the turning in card and the awareness card, which speaks completely to the ability to be still and to be quiet. Be quiet, so that you can hear the still small voice of your higher self. If you call it God, if you call it a higher power, if you call it source, if you call it your angels, whatever, or all of the above, whatever you want to call it, that's constantly speaking to you. It's your inner GPS, and it's constantly guiding you. But if the TV's on very loud in the background, or you're constantly chatting and gossiping, or I don't know, I don't need to judge, and I'm not judging, but you know what I mean. If you're never giving that still small voice an opportunity to be heard, it's going to be very hard for you to hear it. Letting go of those things that you know are holding you back right now from being your true authentic self, from standing in your full authority and power, is what this next month is all about. Relationships. And it might not just be letting go of that girlfriend or that boyfriend because you don't feel that they're the right match for you, or they're doing you wrong or something. But I know for me, I have a family member that comes by, and we've had grievances in the way past. And even though there's been a lot of forgiveness and a lot of healing, still, once in a while when they come over, I feel a part of me being stingy with my love towards them. And even though it's only that much, I'm still withholding the love. So I'm praying on it, and I'm meditating, and I'm just consciously aware to let me let that go. What's that BS? Let me just let that go. They're being perfectly fine and lovely too. We've healed, we've come to terms. Let me let this go. What am I holding on to? So it can be that kind of letting go as well. Well, you're not just letting go of something because they did you wrong, or they're bad and they're the mean one and they're the whatever one, but it's you letting go of your grudges too. Where are you ready to let go? Where are you ready to forgive? Place love there and place peace there. That's the challenge this month. That's what you're being invited to do. Because this laziness card has been coming up for months and months and months and months. I mean, holy guacamole. This card is insane. It speaks to us, getting to a good place. It speaks to us getting to a good place in our life. And then just getting very, very comfortable with it and forgetting about those goals, about those aspirations, about the truth in your heart that you know is calling you, And it's one thing if you know truly, deep, 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 deep down inside in your truth, that you are happy, that you're really, really happy where you're at. Then that's fine. Then look to another aspect of your life. Again, there's your health. Right? There's money, finances, career, your job. There's your love life. Right? There's your creative energy, how you're spending your creative energy, your spiritual pursuits. Where have you gotten to a point where you feel that you don't need to go any further? But in fact, it's almost like a veil of illusion, because it's telling you that, the laziness is telling you, you're fine, have another drink, chill out, you don't have to work on that. It's like, I have Reiki students and Reiki apprentice, and some work on themselves and some don't. And that's okay. It's not for me to judge, but it's interesting when the stuff comes up and I say, have you been laying hands on yourself? Have you been doing your self-healing? And most of the time it's no. And so it's like, okay, so that's an aspect of the laziness of where can you work on yourself? Where can you give back to yourself that much more so that you're so that your personal path of empowerment can smoothly glide with that much more ease and grace and joy. So laziness also, again, speaks to addiction. Are you just like playing, do you have some big dream, right, of being like something, just whatever it is, just the truth in your heart, whatever it is. It can be huge, it can be something really simple, but you know what that is. And are you spending, all your time on Facebook instead of working on that project? Are you playing video games for 3 hours when you know you could be putting time and attention into, honing your craft? Being a master of your craft, even if it's for one day at a time. I invite you to be a master of your craft. And that is going to invite us to lay down laziness, not to lay down. And there's a time. There's a time for rest and relaxation and restoration, absolutely. But if we never get out of bed, if we never find the willpower to move forward and to shift perspectives, habits, patterns, etc., then what happens is that inertia becomes greater and greater and greater. And that's okay. If that's your path, then that will be your teacher. When it's time, when you hear that call, when it gets loud enough, when something gets to the certain point where it's like, I got to stop being lazy because my health is showing me that, or because this deal that I really wanted is now I got the phone call and I have not been organizing all my papers and I don't have all my stuff in order and all this stuff. So drop the laziness in all the areas that you're ready to drop it. Let go of the laziness. You'll have more energy. And honestly, this is interesting because what comes next to laziness is exhaustion. And that's what happens when we become, it's one thing to be content, to go on vacay, to have time off, and, recoup and restore. Yet at the same time, there's the cycles where then later it becomes time where you get to get back up and get back into placing your time and attention in those areas of life that you know are truly yours and gifts to share with the world. Exhaustion happens when we are lazy beyond the point of return. And that's where that laziness gets so strong, that inertia gets so strong in us, that it actually becomes exhausting. It becomes exhausting to be alive. Every day becomes a chore. Look at this person. Look at them. Really, really look at them. They're exhausted. And look at all the mechanics, all the wires, all the hardware in there. It's all wiring, and this card is a card of fire, but the wires speak to the mind. So this is exhaustion. And it's funny because on one hand, the mind can become very exhausted by lack of use, and the mind can get exhausted by overuse. So all those areas where you're just going and going and going and thinking, it when you're just like thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, and you get exhausted, and you can become emotionally unraveled as well. But equally, if you're not exercising those synapses, if you're not exercising your capabilities and the gifts that you have within you, the calling that's within you, no matter how simple or how profound you might feel that it is, if you're not exercising, those capacities, you will become exhausted. And that exhaustion is burnout. You're going to burn out. And basically the hole will be that much deeper that you'll have to dig yourself out of. But hey, if that's the way that you're going to do your path, that's the way you're going to do your path. There's no right or wrong. This is only divine guidance being offered to you through the cards. Now, what comes along with exhaustion, though, is stress. So again, and this is more of the shadow aspect of, if we don't let go when we know it's time to let go, if we cannot allow ourselves to exercise even the slightest amount of discipline in letting go of laziness, and we get to the point of exhaustion because we're resisting letting go. And I know it's hard to let go. It's damn scary because the you who you think you are is often not the truth of you. And in letting go, you're letting go of all those parts of self that you've actually invested a lot of time, a lot of attention, a lot of years, and that a lot of pain generally can be linked to. And not only pain, but just the way you've been doing your life. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I've spent 30 years, I've spent 5 years, I've spent 10 years doing this, and now you want me to let it go? Do you even know how much, how much time and I put into this? But if it's not serving your joy and your happiness, and if it's not in truth and alignment with your pure authentic self, the sooner you let it go, the sooner you're more in attunement and alignment with your true power, with your true strength, with your true authority of self. And in that way, you're given the winds of the Most High to fly upon, because actually it's not about doing, it's about being. So, stress. You can avoid stress by listening to your truth and honoring it. Right? Look at the monkey. This person in the stress is juggling 18 million things. They're blowing their own trumpet. Okay, so that's another thing about stress, right? It's the ego. It's the ego's way of being important. So when we're stressed out, it's like, oh, I've got so many things to do. I mean, do you even know how busy I am? Do you even know how important I am? Because I have X, Y, Z, LMNOP to do. And that's just like BS again. I'm trying not to curse. My mom's been watching my videos and she's asked me to stop cursing. So I'm doing my best not to say bad words. Okay. So look at this. The person's blowing their own trumpet, juggling a million things, and they're like balancing on a ball that's about to pop by this monkey that they have on a leash. It's a little fuzzy, right? But it's like, it's all about to blow. It's all about to go down. You're pushing yourself too far. And the truth is, you don't have to. When you listen to the truth in your heart, when you let go of all the stuff that's not true to you, when you let it go, when you have the courage, which we're going to talk about because this card came up last month, I believe. We're going to talk about that again, and it came up again this month. But when you have the courage to let go of those untruths, life actually gets easier. It's the stress that happens when we resist the truth in our hearts. I know so many people, I have clients that are in jobs that they hate. They hate, they hate, they hate. They hate waking up and going there. Meanwhile, they have a vision in their heart, and they have all this, these dreams and these tingles and these opportunities and people knocking at their doors and things shifting and shifting. And I understand it's not always easy. You can't just drop the job. You have kids, you have a lease, you have a mortgage, you have, there's payments, there's things that have to happen. But what I'm saying is that something beyond this world, beyond space and time, starts to help to put the pieces in order when you start letting go of those parts of yourself that are not, in true alignment with that truth. When you start having the courage to release those ties that bind, the greater order, the divine harmonic order of all that is begins to put in your way, or gift your way, the means for those things to come to pass in the most beautiful ways. And not only for your highest good, but for the highest good of all. Does that make sense? So the more courage you have to, maybe you have to stay at that job until you figure out how to bridge the gap between this and this and that. But maybe maybe you don't need all that furniture in your house. Maybe you're spending $1,000 a month on renting, all this furniture that you don't really need. Or maybe you don't need that $3,000 a month car payment. I don't know. These are just examples, but we create stress for ourselves, right? Are you spending more than you're bringing in? Are there ways that you can recreate a sense of balance to take some stress off of you so you have a little bit of breathing room to reconsider where it is? You can start to make those changes so that you can be in greater harmony and alignment with that truth in your heart. So you don't have to hate your world, and you don't have to hate your job. Because often what happens is when you hate your job, you hate yourself for putting yourself there. And then that creates just a whole other realm of debauchery. Self-hate and self-loathing is debauchery. And it's also self-importance. And it's also where the tar body and the ego resides. And what we're doing is we're moving away from those forces. So, boom, that be said, let's move on, shall we, to the lighter side of this reading. Okay, so those first several cards we looked at, letting go, laziness, exhaustion, stress, this is all what's happening. This is all what's up right now. And ultimately, you know, we got these two cards last month. I love it when they do repeats because I don't plan it, it just happens. Last month we got these two cards and they're back again. The source and the creator. You are the creator of your life's experience. You are the co-creator with that which is greater than yourself, with your life's experience. You are the source of your happiness. You are the source of your happiness. This relates to the third chakra also. It relates to the second chakra in your ability to be able to hear your here I am. I'm writing a book on the chakras, and your second chakra is always sitting there when you're still and you're quiet and you meditate enough. Your second chakra is going, here I am, here I am, here I am. And the second chakra really has a seed of what's in your heart and what's in the deep truth of your subconscious. That is the truth in you of what is your path of joy and ease and happiness in this world and in this life. But again, if we're busy and we're stressed out, we can't hear that still small voice of your, here I am. And again, it could be something really simple. You don't have to be, you know, the next astronaut. It's the basic, simple things that place you, as you allow them, that place you in the perfect time and space to be in harmony with all that surrounds you and to live a beautiful life, you know? And from that sense of grounding and of being in harmony with your truth, you know, being able to extend that simply by embodying that, by being an exemplification of that, and then responding in the world to all the cray-cray, because there's a lot of cray-cray, but you know what? There's always a lot of cray-cray. Don't be deluged, okay? There's always cray-cray in this world. It's not about changing the world, it's about changing you on the inside. So instead of, you know, trying to change people, places, and things outside of you, to affect change, change yourself within yourself. That's where the real work is. And from that change is where you will then be able to see and experience more peace outside of you. Right? There's a saying, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Try doing that for a day. When you're clear on the inside from practicing that, you're clear on the outside. Everything becomes clearer, and that's what we're doing by letting go, by shedding. So where are you not allowing yourself to be the true creator of your life's experience? Again, laziness. Are you at that job that you know you should have left a while ago, you know? Or at least start to create a plan. Just start meditating on it. Ask for it, pray for it, whatever your thing is. Like, show me divine angels or God or whatever it is. Show me how I can be a great creator of my life. Show me how I can heal any pains in my third chakra. The third chakra, again, is the source, is related to the sun, is related to your is related to your I am here. So your second chakra is your here I am. And when your second chakra is realized and allowed to be heard, it moves up. It moves that juicy energy up into your third chakra, your space of personal power, of willpower, will to be true to you. And it's your I am here. Boom. Drop the mic. Okay? I am here. Your I am here, if you know what it is, woo! Blessings. If you don't know what it is, doesn't matter. It's okay. Part of you does know. And as long as you're allowing that part of you a space and time, meditating, breathing, being quiet, turning off the TV, turning off the social media, you know, whatever it is, just to do something different. Get the wheels in motion in a different way in your world, and especially in ways towards those things that you love doing. Like if you're a painter, or if you have a desire to paint, but you never buy a sketch pad, or you never, you know, take the paints out of the box and just play and finger paint or something, that causes stress. Right? When you're not allowing yourself to honor and to be true to those parts of yourself. And that keeps you further away from you being the creator, the co-creator of your life's experience, and it keeps you further away from the source of who you are. Right? When you're being the source of who you are, nothing can touch you because you have found the courage. You have found the courage to be true to you. The courage, again, speaks to a seed being stuck in a crack in the sidewalk. And seeds can hang out for thousands and thousands. I don't know. I mean, I know thousands, but I'll say millions. I don't know. I'm making that up. But seeds can stay a seed for thousands and thousands of years before they actually start to like crack and birth themselves. There's all these seeds of intuition, of insight, of intelligence, of wisdom, of knowing who you are. And really, I'll be bold enough to say who you are is love. And it's whatever way that is seeking to show up through you at any given space and time on any given day is waiting to be birthed. And that's where your joy is. When you're happy and when you're just able to extend in love and in light, things come to you, right? Things come to you with ease and with grace and with joy. And that's the world that you're being invited to explore. But having the courage to grow in the world, I know it's hard because the world tells us that the world already has a plan for us, right? The 7-day work week, the 9 to 5, there's only in America 2 political parties. There's like all these boxes that we've been conditioned to think are real, and they're not real. At least they don't have to be real to you anymore. You can choose again. You can think about things in a different way. I also have a video that speaks on meditation. And later, as I continue to set up my platforms, I created a mindful meditation training program. For over 15 years, I worked in nursing homes and healthcare facilities teaching chair yoga, meditation, and Reiki therapeutic touch with the elders, with the senior population, the dementia, the Parkinson's, the Alzheimer's, stroke recovery, all of it. And I did that for a long, long time, to the point where then I created courses to train the employees in the healthcare centers so that they can do it for themselves. And so anyway, later, I'm going to be creating those as online platforms that you can train. And there's a video. I'm going to put a link here on meditation. And it's just a 5-minute talk. It's just an audio video of me talking about the power of meditation. And I would really invite you to explore that. To explore just being able to be still and to be okay with yourself in that stillness. I know it can get wiggly if there's a lot of addictions, if there's darkness, if there's unattended to pain. To be still and to be quiet can be quite challenging. But that's where your power is. Your ability to face the challenge and to transmute it and to use it as a teaching and a teacher. Right? So 2 other cards that came up are postponement and thunderbolt. And we've had thunderbolt before. And again, this is the lighting up of your chakras. This is the rewiring of your central nervous system. This is the release. Look at these people fleeing from the body, right? This is electricity. This is lightning. This is the essence of the universe that is saying, whatever you believe, right? Whatever, if you believe in politics, if you don't believe in politics, if you believe in spirituality, if you don't believe in spirituality, if you believe in God, if you don't believe in God, whatever you believe is or isn't, it's on, change is on, and it's always on, but it's on right now. And so you can either work with those energies or not. But here's the key, is that if you're not ready to release those addictions, if you're not ready to get over that laziness, it'll come around again. But it might be some time before it does. We choose when we postpone life. But this is also a card of the mind. This person is looking through the frame out to the beautiful, colorful landscapes, the blue sky, the clouds, the greens, the valleys, and they have that color in their heart. Look at their heart over their chest. Those colors are reflected in their heart, but then all around it is black and white. It's gray. They're thinking about it too much. What are you thinking about too much? What are you thinking about too much? You know, sometimes it is about writing an energy letter and meditating and going for the healing and, you know, doing all that stuff. Sure, absolutely. And sometimes it's just about cutting the cord and letting go and just being bold enough and having that courage and saying, no, no more. Like all of a sudden one day I was like, I knew it. I knew it. My body was telling me, stop. Stop with the morning caffeine. Just stop it and your whole world will change. And I finally was like, that's it. Okay, I'm going to stop. And I got some really good decaf. You better make sure I did to replace it. And yes, I suffered for 2 full days with like huge headaches, which were awful. And I don't wish on anyone. But now the clarity and the energy that I'm regaining now, which is a natural energy that is not artificial, is actually quite profound. And it's plugging me into a different radiance of being within myself and a radiance within the world and a different spectrum of wisdom and intelligence, which I'm so grateful for, and an ability to sit still longer so I can write about it, so I can speak about it, so I can contemplate about it, you know, and that's just my personal thing. But where can you just go through the window? What are you postponing? What are you putting off? What are you putting off letting go? Your whole world will change. And look at that drop again. That drop has already fallen from the edge of the leaf, so it's already on. Chances are you already know those areas where you can begin to let go. And really, our last 2 cards here are so powerful. Tuning in, which is turning on, and awareness. And look at this, turning in. Did I say tuning in? Turning in. Look at all those voices around this person, and they're just like talking to them. It's almost like they're ghosts or spirits or entities. And really, that's what social media and that's what media in general is it puts voices into your head that just go on to replay. And unless we change the record and put a different voice in there, the loudest voice wins, unless you know how to teach yourself to be quiet. Okay? But look, if you see, there's this beautiful line. So even though there's all these voices and these people and these faces and these decisions or these considerations and these things trying to interrupt this person's stillness, there is this clear line from the center, really of the parting of her hair, from the center of her crown, all the way up to the top of this card, up to cosmos, up to God, up to source, up to higher power. And the robes that she's wearing, the blue, represent her emotional state of being harmonious, of not being pushed and pulled in one direction or the other. It's her ability to stay cool, to stay calm, to stay centered, and to be at one with something much greater than her. And what happens is when we practice that meditation, when we practice turning in by turning everything off, unless of course you want to light a candle and put some juicy meditation music on, but sometimes not. Sometimes you're just listening to nothing, right? What happens is the veils of illusion begin to burn away. The veils of Maya begin to burn away. And that divine awareness of your truth, your Buddha nature, your source self, your God self, your goddess self, any name you give it, begins to burn through. And a new level of awareness comes to pass. And a new level of awareness ushers in a whole new world. And it's the world of you. It's the world that you bring to the world. The world will be a very different place the more of the truth of you that you allow to show up. Right? It makes sense. So now we're going to pull a card. And again, these are just the lenses cards. These are just the lens cards, the violet cards in the Mayan Oracle deck, and we're going to pull one right now. Here we go. So for the highest good, we'll ask the Mayan Oracle deck to offer us the most perfect card that will assist us in putting together all the pieces of this reading from February 8th to March 8th of 2017. And for all those that will be guided to watch this reading, to tune in, to listen for this guidance, we'll pull that card for myself and for you. And we'll allow it to pop out. Oh, there it goes. Where did it go? Ooh. Dreamer and dreamed. Look at that. Almost looks like a spider web. Dreamer and dreamed. That is cool. Okay, glasses time. Dreamer and dreamed. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Dreamer and dreamed. The qualities are destiny, personal dream, synchronicity, mosaic of meaning, the larger dream, conscious dreamer, networker, connector, imaginal cell, and myth maker. Your personal dream is unfolding. You are the dreamer revealing the dream. Be present. Be aware. Remember that you are the ancient sage who carries the wisdom of lifetimes into this moment, and that this dream offers you the opportunity to merge all that you have been and may become. Time and space are folding. Stop and feel the interweaving of threads in the new dream. Be aware of potent dreams, chance meetings, catalytic books, and unusual encounters. As you recognize these threads from the larger dream, an exciting tapestry of meaning and purpose emerges. The dreamer is awakening. Destiny is dawning. See how your past has brought you into the present and how the present catapults you into the future. Watch for strong feelings and intuitive knowings, patterns, images, colors, sounds, and sensations. Bring the mythic expression of yourself into the dream of your daily life. Ask yourself the questions, what do I want? What brings me joy? Clearly focus on the answer to these deceptively simple questions. Dream the dream awake. Free yourself from the way you normally view the world. You are the dreamer and the dreamed. In the collective dream field, all things are possible and are constantly being created. By choosing to become a conscious dreamer, you're helping to create the new reality of the larger dream, the greater reality unfolding. We are the conscious dreamers and myth makers. Through our thoughts and actions, we are co-creating the end of the consciousness movie that completes sometime around 2013. We are the directors of the transformation, the imaginal cells within the nutritive soup of the chrysalis, which will birth the butterfly of a new consciousness on earth. Let us create the new dream together. That is so beautiful because on one hand, it is telling us, right? There's a mosaic of meaning. Your piece of the puzzle is so important to the manifestation of the greater whole. If what we are really seeking is unity consciousness, is peace on earth, is heaven on earth, what are you doing within yourself, within your own life to bridge that, to bring that, to co-create that? How can you do that more? What might you have to let go of in order to allow that to simply be, to allow that peace that already is to simply be? And it also speaks to, I love this, what do I want? What brings me joy? If you're an adept meditator or a new meditator, that might be a beautiful way for you to begin to explore, greater depth in this bridge over the February and March. What do I want? Like, what do you really want? And it's interesting because you might, the ego voice might be like, well, I want a new car, I want a new house, I want a new lover, I want a new, set of boobs, or or whatever it might be, right? But then the deeper you sit with that, and if you meditate on that over and over and over again, what you really begin to realize is what I want is peace. What I want is to be happy. And once you realize that those are the true aspects that you really want, those things that are cock blocking your joy, or your happiness, or your peace begin to become illumined. And as they're illumined, it's easier for you to let them go with grace and with ease. Asking the question, what brings me joy? That's a huge one. Sit and meditate with that. Just sit, close your eyes, take some deep breaths. What brings me joy? And again, at first you might have the car and the house and and that's okay, for those material things to bring us joy. And it's especially great if you already feel peace of mind and happiness of heart. And then you have these bonuses of this great abundance, to have your juicy car or your nice house by the beach or whatever, then there's a real visceral cornucopia of abundance that comes from a different place of allowing, right? Rather than wanting and trying to grasp and bring in. And again, what brings me joy? I know what brings me joy is having peace of mind. Is having peace of mind. When I have peace of mind, that's the true abundance for me personally. And from peace of mind, again, if I get that extra client or I get, bonus money comes in, my, something beautiful happens, opportunity, whether it's financial, material, or otherwise, once I have that peace of mind, it's almost like winning the lottery every time something good happens, because my foundation is already so set up to receive it and to really experience and appreciate it with gratitude. And that joy is exponential. It's a beautiful thing. And I know this speaks to, when these cards were done, and actually I don't know for sure, I'd have to read deeper into them, but I know it spoke to, through our thoughts and actions, we are co-creating the end of the consciousness movie that completes sometime around 2013. So in that, because there is no time, there's a sense that those parts that are completing that old movie, right, within us, those aspects, we're still letting go of those old parts of those movies of hurt and of pain and of fear and of separation consciousness. And we're moving towards what the truth is, unity consciousness, heaven on earth consciousness. And we do that, and we bridge that heaven on earth consciousness. We bridge that gap by honoring the truth in our hearts. When we honor the truth in our hearts, even if it's little by little, a little bit every day, we're giving ourselves permission. We're honoring that. And when we give ourselves permission, we give other people permission. We give the world permission to exist in its truth and its beauty and its brilliance too. So very powerful. Dreamer and dreamed. So don't be afraid to dream this month, right? Dream into those parts of yourself. And even if you feel like you have a vision, a goal, a sense of who you are and what you want to be when you grow up, right? Because we're constantly growing up. Allow yourself to relax and allow that daydream to expand even more. And as it expands even more, you're going to bump into those things that you get to let go of. You don't have to let go. You get to let go. You get to let go this month. So see it as a ritual, as a ceremony, as a blessing, as a gift to yourself, giving back to yourself, so more of yourself can show up in your life. And that's a gift, right? That you're giving the world and you're giving yourself. So it's not only for your highest good, it's for the highest good of all, always. I am so very, very grateful to spend this time with you. I know we do these long readings and it's just so juicy, and I really love sharing this with you. Please do subscribe, stay in touch so I can keep you informed when my live YouTube show begins to happen, because I will be taking questions and answers from you. And I'm excited to share with you when I launch my book, The Reiki Apprentice. And I'm excited to just share all sorts of juicy stuff with you. I'm going to be giving away free ebooks and music, meditations and stuff down the line. And I'm working on it, right? These are my goals, and I'm seeing what I have to let go of in order for that to come to pass. And so I invite you to do the same, to allow your most powerful, beautiful self to be present here and now. And even if it's just baby steps, little by little, it actually is a huge gift. And I thank you. Thank you again so much. Namaste. So many blessings to you.